Well, thank you all for doing this. Obviously, a fan of your day jobs, your side projects, and now congrats on this new collaboration album. So I'll throw it to Sarah first, because Sarah was the first one on the call. When
Oh,
did you finish First Sounds?
oh man, we actually made first sounds in the in the winter 2021 pandemic. Like that was just a vortex. And then it took us a while to finish. When did we actually finish?
Mm,
Like
no.
mastering.
2022.
You know how everything stopped, right?
Our
Even
our
just
brain stopped.
mixing and mastering and then figuring out how to put it out just took forever because we were all in the midst of that like real shutdown vibes.
Also,
But yeah,
turning it into the record, it became. It was kind of like we got together. There were a few pieces of written music that we quickly recorded, and then we also improvised a lot. So there's just all this recorded music, and it was like, let's figure out what the pieces are in the giant pile.
Sure. So
Yeah.
we as the media people, we get the press releases that go, this is the first single. And I know when you're making an album, you're not thinking about singles, and I'll throw this to Rebecca. When you were making this album, did you know, hey, Slow New Year's a single, or is that just the machine doing its job?
Well, I definitely knew Maria was going to be a single. I was very attached to that song for I don't know what reason, a visceral reason, but I would say yes. I think we all kind of came to a conclusion altogether on the three singles before the album release of which ones felt right. It kind of popped out for us, both in the recording and post.
Sarah, are you giving a nod to that one too?
well, a lot of those decisions don't come from like just purely instinctive or artistic reasons. It's like, oh, which one isn't 11 minutes, or like which one will be digestible in the way that unfortunately people listen to music nowadays. And so our genre, or if we have a genre, is not super well suited to the culture of like micro listening
Singles. Yeah.
singles. It's like gone beyond singles now. It's like sound bites. Like
Yeah. My pick for single was like almost a track that's almost 10 minutes, and I was like, this is the hit. And I just got
which
completely
one?
steamrolled.
I forgot about that.
Dueling Flutters, just like, this is genius. Genius. Everyone's like, it's 10 minutes long. Yeah.
You're like, please.
Please.
Yeah.
Respect comes from my end for all that. So I'm intrigued to find out that the album has been done in some respect for a couple of years. Does that mean that there's leftovers that you could do like a record store day EP or Japanese bonus tracks or that kind of stuff with other stuff from the sessions?
We could,
Probably.
but we've also started making a new one already, and there's like already 10 times more music for the new one than there was for the first one. So we might.
It's such a pile that it's like we need 6 months just to weed through it.
Wow. Okay. Is that making it with Shazad as well, the new record?
Not thus far, although maybe he'll come play. But thus far, we're making it with Pietro Amato, who's me and Sarah's bandmate in a couple different bands, and he's kind of my partner in crime these days, making film scores. And he's just a wonderful producer and fellow musician.
Well, speaking of film scores, something that, intrigues me about all of you is how prolific you all are as career musicians. And sometimes what you're playing is going to be heard in an arena, and sometimes it's meant for the club, and sometimes it's a film score. Are all of you, and I'll throw it to Rebecca first, when you're making music, is it purpose driven where you sit down like a day job? Or do you write something and then you later go, this might be for a collab record? In other words, do you know what it's all for, or do you have to listen later and figure out what it's for?
Yeah, I'm definitely the type of person that like I need a little bit of pressure to get the work done. And so I have to put it in my calendar to go deep into composition. Otherwise, I kind of stay airy-fairy with my composing. But, so I need a little bit of pressure.
Professional term.
Airy-fairy? Was that the term?
I just mean, okay, if we're gonna be totally honest. For me, the older I get, music is definitely a form of meditation.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to find a meditative state of channeling and see what comes out. And so sometimes the things that come out are interesting and sometimes not very interesting for me. But so if we can nuance it with a little bit of pressure of like, okay, I'm going to work on my album or I'm working on a film score or whatever it is, then it helps to direct the flow.
It also,
Well, also,
I,
like when you have
I-
a lot going on, you can just be constantly in a state of
Oh,
distraction, right? It's like,
exactly. And actually, could I share one story
Please.
that with, I just heard that Brian Eno has a technique of only doing input in the morning and then, creative output in the morning, and then input like reading the newspaper or emails or admin or whatever it is after, because it's so hard in today's world.
It's so hard. The
got
cliffhanger.
beaten by today's
End
world. It's
quote.
just,
because it's so hard in today's world.
It is. Those are the facts.
I want to know.
But before she comes back, I mean, is there something to add to the Eno thing? Did either of you know about that Brian Eno factoid?
I did know that, and I totally support that. And it's a struggle to ever force life to conform to those rules, but I totally support it, and I feel that way too. Of like, but also I sometimes feel the opposite. If I just want to be on input in the mornings, and I often hit my stride at supper time, right when I'm supposed to go home, and then I bail at supper time and stay at the studio or whatever, because you hit some sort of stride in output mode and you want to keep going. But I love to get up and read or meditate or do exercise in the morning, where you're kind of, but I totally get that the thing. And I was going to add on to what she was saying. I was going to say, for us, like very apropos of what she was saying, for our trio, it's really very similar to there she is. Very similar to meditation.
Sorry.
She's back. Yay. You cut
My
off at a
Wi-Fi.
perfect moment.
Perfect.
There's a really good quote. I'll just finish what I'm saying and you can finish your thought if you want to.
Sure.
But very much apropos of what Rebecca was saying, like it's very similar process, I would say, to meditation in a way. The way that we play together, where it's like, if we just put the time aside and we show up and we just play music and we play music and we take a break and we play music and we take a break and we play music, we record everything that we do, and then you go back and indeed you learn, oh, some of that was totally not of any interest, and then something was kind of interesting but then got distracted, and then, oh my god, here's 15 minutes of really well-formed, interesting, evocative, intertwining, like co-regulating music that just like finds itself. And that's what you wait for. It's kind of like but you have to do all of it, right? You have to also have the boring moments and record the boring stuff and then listen back to it and go, okay, yeah, skip through that one and it's not really doing anything. And then, but then you'll just find this total gem. And it's kind of the same thing like with meditation, where it's like, sometimes it's all irritating and all distracted and just sort of flitting from idea to idea and not being able to just get into a flow state. And then sometimes it just totally flows and you have this marvelous good time.
I would say that our trio, as opposed to my meditation practice, has a very high ratio of flow state to irritation.
Totally.
And
Which
I will just go out on a limb and say that it is the most relaxing thing in my life. I mean, I don't have a very relaxing life, we know, but it's playing with you guys. Like when we got together in May, it was just like, are you kidding me? I felt like I didn't even have time to go and do that. And I was like, oh God, I have to do this thing, but I love them. So whatever. And then we get there and we did exactly what Richie just described. And it was just like, it was a lot of flow state. And I don't know if I've had even 5 minutes of flow state in like years. I have a toddler and 7 jobs, and I'm just like, can I see them again and do that? Because that's gonna like give me cell regeneration or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if I can rudely interrupt here, it sounds like I'm speaking to 3 of the most erratic meditators on the planet. Like the 3 most unrelaxed, relaxed people there are.
Well, meditation's not supposed to be like it's just like a irritating practice to like change your relationship to your irritating brain, right?
Well said. So Rebecca, we lost you when you were saying that it was hard to do something with relation to the Eno input output thing.
Oh, I was saying that. I was saying it's hard to do.
Oh no, mid sentence we heard it.
Rebecca
It's
was
really
like,
hard
in-
to.
Oh,
and
right.
In this
The
world,
Zoom
Right.
gods took us.
I
Hard
was just
because
saying,
world.
yeah, the world is
And you-
so crazy.
Hard because of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was saying that, yeah, I find if I get into emails or reading about Elon Musk or reading about anything intense right now going on in the world, that it's very hard to go from that to composing and
Mhm.
being a channel, an open channel. And so, yeah, but what I'm very grateful for is being able to cultivate that practice with music and with these guys. It's such a because we've known each other for so long,
Mhm.
and we're such close friends, and we basically grew up together, watched supporting each other or playing together musically. So we've like shaped each other as well, and that's like a very special place to improvise in and compose in. And so I'm just very grateful for that.
Well, I got two more questions and then I'll let you all roam free. And the first one is, are we going to be able to hear these songs on First Sounds live anytime soon?
looks like it.
Looks like
Maybe.
in the winter we're starting to have some shows happening. Yeah, winter 2025.
Wow. Okay, that is an easy answer. And then the last one, here's the clickbait question for everybody. Who of the three of you is the biggest fan of Van Halen?
Richie.
I was gonna say Richie.
Probably. I wouldn't call myself a
Guy with
master.
all the guitars behind him, maybe.
But that's just a passive, you're aware of the music, not a you're a secret shredder who grew
No,
up
no,
in 80s metal.
no. Like Running with the Devil is a jam. Like that is a real jam. Van Halen at their peak moments, it's incredible. It's an incredible musical force.
Yeah.
The style is definitely like, you know, it's a very dated style, but like when it's on, it's incredible. And I mean, yeah, amazing musicianship. And yeah,
I did used to listen, speaking of shredding, and it's not Van Halen style shredding, but I fully used to listen to Joe Satriani when I was like 12. I was and Hendrix and all the classic shredders, but I remember so specifically being like super young and being like, oh yeah, like that
yeah.
shredding. Because
Speaking of flow
I was
states,
at my peak shred as a preteen because I was like practicing all the time, just like.
And Satriani is now touring in Sammy Hagar's band, playing the Van Hagar catalog. So I don't know if you realized that you came full circle.
I
dude,
did.
Incredible.
did not know that.
It happens. Van Halen's everywhere. But hey, congrats to you three on First Sounds. Hopefully in the winter 2025, we're going to see you in New York. But in the meantime, looking forward to all your projects, whether you're scoring, side people, feature people, whatever it is. Thank you all for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paltrocast.